Welcome back, fellow horror geeks, to CityGeek.com presents 100 Days of Horror. I am Bob doing my video reviews here, but everyone else who's working on this, which is 100 horror films you haven't seen and leading up to Halloween, have posted their results down below. Eventually we'll update the City of Geek link, but if you follow that link in there to the Facebook, you can find everything in real time of what everyone's working on, because this is my review for day 82, which is Tigers Are Not Afraid. And so this is Tigers Are Not Afraid, which is currently streaming on Shudder. I'm counting it as the 2019 film because that's what Metacritic has on there. But originally was released in 2017 in Mexico, and then did the festival circuit last year. Remember what? It came through SIFF and it played against SIFF earlier this year. But now we have the regular release and the form that most people can see it in, outside of limited theatrical release. We're looking at 2019. So that's what we're going to count it as. If you have issue with that, that's up to you, I guess. And Tigers Are Not Afraid was written and directed by Isa Lopez. I'm not too sure of what Lopez's rest of the catalog looks like for Lopez. I haven't seen anything else from the IMDb, but I do look forward to seeing what comes out from this, because this was a fantastic film that I really loved. I'm not going into many details over the particular moments that happened because I want to let it flow for you, because this is a very story-based movie with its dark fairy tale roots, and it's great seeing how the dark fairy tale messes in with the real world. It's very Del Toro-like. If you're a fan of Guillermo del Toro and a lot of his works, particularly Pan's Labyrinth, you'll find a lot to love here. And Del Toro's been tossed around a lot in other reviews, and I can see why now. Del Toro, in fact, is going to be working with Lopez for a werewolf movie sometime soon, because he saw this and he was like, that's someone I want to work with. That's someone who, gets on the same level as me. And I can definitely see that when watching this. So while Pan's Labyrinth used the Spanish Civil War as its background, here we have modern Mexico, an unnamed city where the cartels are in control. And we have several orphan children who are trying to survive as they go through. Our main is a young girl whose mom gets killed by the cartel. The same day there's an attack at her school, and her teacher, to calm her down, says, this piece of chalk is going to give you 3 wishes. And then, so she has those wishes that she makes, and every time she makes one, some consequences happen. The wishes may not be real. They might be completely in her head. It might be this. It might be her working through everything that's going on, in the same way that the main girl in Pan's Labyrinth is dealing with everything going on where she's at. So those parallels are very much there. But it's not to say it's tracking. It's not to say this is ripping off Pan's Labyrinth in any way. But it has this kind of the same feel and the same idea of kids who are trying to survive in something bigger than themselves, and they do as they can. She ends up joining up with a group of other orphans who all have various traumas over everything that's happened as they live on the roof and steal cell phones and steal what they need to do until they accidentally steal a cell phone of a cartel leader and have some video of him committing a murder. So it becomes kind of the cartel versus them in this case, as they try and work their way through that, as she deals with that. As they're working through that, they start to deal with the ghosts of the people killed by the cartel, and how they're interacting with. But it's beautifully shot, and the way that the fantasy works in with the real world is exquisite. The acting, as best I can tell, is great. It's always hard to really gauge acting if you're not speaking the language. I don't speak any Spanish, so I really can't tell how that goes, but it felt real and it felt natural. The way that the story progresses through this was continually surprised me. There's some things I expected to kind of see the overall, if you know a lot of how these stories go, but the details were wonderful, and how each particular scene played out. I was surprised multiple times and completely enthralled by the movie. This is a movie I highly recommend. It's been on everyone's best of lists for last year for festival circuit, and now it's popping up. People saying this is definitely going to be on my top of my list this year, and I can totally see that. So if you don't have, I'm pretty sure it was on Shudder. If not, it was on Amazon Prime. It's on one of those. But if you don't have Shudder yet, you really should. As much as we talk about Shudder on our show and on the podcast and on these. So Tigers Are Not Afraid is a solid A+. There's nothing wrong with this movie. It's beautiful, it's perfect, it's well acted, it's got the mixture of the fantasy and reality, and a harrowing situation. That's a harrowing situation before you even add in the fantasy, as everyone works through the same way the Pan's Labyrinth did there. I really want to see what this director's going to do in the future, especially work on Del Toro, because this is the future here. I know this is a short review, but it's definitely, you gotta see this movie. Tigers Are Not Afraid, A+ work. Go see it. Thank you for watching my review here. Like, comment, subscribe to see everything else we're working on in the days leading up to the end of 100 Days of Horror. Then we'll move into non-horror stuff.